The company that mastered cheap fashion forgot fashion moves faster than cheap. Forever 21 didn't die because of e-commerce. They didn't die because malls collapsed. They died because they won the wrong game. Let me explain. In 2015, Forever 21 was unstoppable. $4.4 billion in revenue, over 700 stores globally, the kings of fast fashion in America. By 2019, bankruptcy. And the reason is hiding in plain sight. Here's what Forever 21 got brutally right. Cost efficiency. They own their factories, mostly in Asia, China, Vietnam, Bangladesh. This gave them control over production costs. They could manufacture a dress for $3, sell it for $19.99, still make profit even after markdowns. Zara couldn't touch those margins. H&M couldn't compete on price. Forever 21 was the Walmart of fashion. Except, they optimized for the wrong metric. They optimized for cost per unit, when they should have optimized for cost per day. Let me break that down. A $3 dress that sits in a warehouse for 120 days, that's not $3. That's $3 plus storage, plus capital costs, plus markdown risk. By the time it sells, if it sells, the real cost might be $8. But Forever 21's entire system was built around that $3 number. Lower production costs, higher margins on paper. Disaster in reality.
Now here's where the model breaks. Fashion has a half-life, like radioactive material. A trend appears on Instagram. Day 1, it's hot. Day 14, it's cooling. Day 30, it's dead. Day 60, it's embarrassing. Zara understood this. Their entire supply chain was built for speed, designed to shelf in 14 days. Forever 21, 90 to 180 days. But here's what nobody talks about. It wasn't that they were slow, it's that they couldn't be fast, structurally impossible. Because when you own factories, you have minimum production runs. You can't make 500 units of a dress, you have to make 50,000 to justify the setup costs, to keep the factory running, to amortize the investment. So Forever 21 would see a trend, decide to chase it, order 50,000 units, wait 4 months for production, wait 2 weeks for shipping, wait another week for distribution, and by the time it hits stores, the trend is over. Now you've got 50,000 dresses nobody wants, and you're locked into the next production run. But here's the twist that reveals everything. Forever 21 knew this was happening. Internal emails from 2016 show executives discussing the speed problem. They called it the cycle time crisis. So why didn't they fix it? Because fixing it meant destroying their competitive advantage. Their whole edge was low-cost production through owned factories, through volume. To get faster, they'd need to partner with small agile manufacturers, accept higher per unit costs, sacrifice margin for velocity. And here's the brutal truth. The Chang family, the founders, couldn't make that leap. They built an empire on being the cheapest. The psychological shift to being the fastest? Too much. They'd rather die optimizing the old model than survive building a new one. Classic innovator's dilemma. Let's talk about what this looked like on the ground. By 2018, Forever 21 had $1.7 billion in inventory, sitting in stores, sitting in warehouses, just sitting. For context, their annual revenue was around $3.5 billion. That means half their annual sales was trapped in unsold goods. This creates a cascade failure. Inventory ties up cash they needed for rent, for payroll, for new inventory. So they'd mark down the old stuff, 50% off, 70% off, just to generate cash flow. But markdowns kill margins. Lower margins mean less cash for next season. Less cash means you can't take risks on new trends, can't respond to market shifts. You're stuck in reactive mode, selling last season's trends at a discount, while Zara is selling this week's trends at full price. Death spiral. 5 years. Now let me show you the exact opposite model. Zara doesn't own most of their production. About 60% is outsourced to small workshops, mostly in Spain and Portugal, close to headquarters. This costs more per unit, but delivers speed. When a celebrity wears something on Monday, Zara can have a similar version in stores by Thursday next week. Forever 21 needed until next quarter. Here's the math that matters. Zara's inventory turnover 6 times per year. Forever 21's inventory turnover 3 times per year. That means Zara sells through their entire inventory twice as fast. Less capital trapped, less markdown risk, less trend exposure, more cash, more flexibility, more survival. Zara could afford to be wrong about trends because they'd only made 5,000 units, not 50,000. Forever 21 couldn't afford to be wrong, but their model guaranteed they'd be wrong. Often. Now add real estate to this equation. Forever 21 stores averaged 38,000 square feet. Massive! Why so big? Because they needed space for inventory. When you're ordering 6 months ahead, you need somewhere to put it. Retail space became warehousing. But here's the problem. Rent on 38,000 square feet in a prime mall? $200,000 to $500,000 per month. You're paying premium retail rent for warehouse storage. The economics make no sense unless you're turning inventory fast enough, which they weren't. So they're paying mall rent to store dead inventory that they'll eventually mark down. Every day that inventory sits, it's costing them 3 times. Once in production cost, twice in storage/rent cost, 3 times in opportunity cost. The capital could have been deployed elsewhere. So what does this mean for the future of retail? The winner isn't the cheapest producer, it's the fastest reactor. We're seeing this play out right now. Shein has a 7 to 14 day cycle, faster than Zara. How? Zero owned production, pure marketplace model. Thousands of small manufacturers competing for orders in real time. Algorithmic trend detection. They make 100 units to test. If it sells, they make 10,000 more. If it doesn't, they kill it. Zero inventory risk, maximum speed. This is the future. Micro-batch production, real-time demand sensing, algorithmic supply chains. Forever 21's model of owned factories and bulk production, it's not just old, it's extinct. And here's the scary part for traditional retailers. The speed gap is widening, not shrinking. Technology favors the fast, not the big. Companies built on vertical integration and ownership, they're dinosaurs waiting for the meteor. Forever 21 mastered the 20th century retail playbook. Control your costs, own your production, scale through volume. But fashion in the 21st century isn't about cost, it's about time. And time is the one thing you can't manufacture cheaper. You can only move faster. Forever 21 moved slower and paid the ultimate price. If you want to understand which other retail giants are making the same mistake, subscribe, because the patterns are everywhere and the next collapse is already in motion. See you in the next breakdown.